for that kind of. Oops.
Thank you. So we need a motion to do the budget. Well, we can do that at the end. We'll do that when we do the warrant, yeah. The next thing is we are planning on, since Earth Day is April 22nd, I don't know if it got to everyone or not, we just came up with this. We're gonna try and do a road cleanup on Saturday and Sunday, April 20th and 21st. We're purchasing garbage bags for that and safety vests.
Okay,
April 20th and 21st, Saturday and Sunday. And we're gonna get the bags and the vests. We'll put this out on, I don't think it's been on Anchor email yet, has it? No.
is it a new
Yeah,
thing that's just come up in the last couple of weeks? We've been noticing the garbage along the sides of the road.
and I've had a couple of calls from people complaining about it, so. So anyway, we're gonna put the trash bags here at the Farmer's Wife in the little store for people to go and pick them up. Anybody that wants to volunteer to help. The biggest reason I suggested we get the safety vests, because we don't want anybody getting run over out there picking trash up. And when they pick it up, they will just leave it along the road where the bag is full, and the town highway will go pick the bags up. Trying to make our town look a little more beautiful. I just,
Find out how what roads you're doing?
yes,
People on one-
yeah, we will do that. I just got this in an email like an hour and a half ago, so it didn't get passed around to anyone, but this lady from Chatham called Elvira Ferrero, I think that's how you pronounce her name. What it is, it's support for the New York State Assembly and Senate to pass a strong packaging reduction and recycling infrastructure act and expand the state's bottle bill. So it's this whole resolution here, if you want me to read the whole thing. And she's looking for support for all the towns in the county. And when I read her email, I didn't write it down here, but there was like 3 towns that have already supported this resolution.
I know Alan's in house.
What does our support entail?
It's just, it would add to her work trying to get this passed through the state.
When it says increase the bottle bill, what does she want to do with it?
You want to increase the returnable 5 cents to 10 cents in New York State. So
Doesn't say that here, but
it towards the bottom of it. I've heard word of this.
Doesn't make sense to me why we don't do juice bottles. Anything else,
Right,
you know, I mean, if they want to fix some of it, they ought to do that too.
expand it to more types
Expand.
of beverages.
We've been
What-
talking about that.
Look at all the bottles, I mean, iced tea, plastic bottles that you see everywhere, my God.
so I'll skip the whereases, and that be it resolved that Columbia County urges the New York State Legislature to pass and Governor Hochul to sign into law a strong and effective package reduction and recycling infrastructure act and expand an expanded and modernized bottle bill. Resolve further that Columbia County shall forward copies of this resolution to Governor Hochul, the New York Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, and New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins, and all others deemed necessary and proper. So that's basically what she's doing, trying to get. Her name is Elvira, Ferraio. And it said in the email, she's a resident of Chatham.
You know, I wonder if it does say that they want to reflect an expanded market of beverages, so maybe they're gonna try to increase that.
I think they are.
One-
Talking about it.
That's. all.
Snapple's another one that always blows my mind.
So the question is, as a town board, do we want to, get on board with this?
So,
I think it's a good idea.
I was gonna say, I don't see why there would be any problem.
What's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
whether they pass it or not, we can support it.
right,
Yes.
we can support.
So I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. I have,
Sign that and send that back.
I would assume,
Or
I'll find out more about this tomorrow. I gotta go out to the county in the morning. I'll find out more.
don't do-
I have one more thing to bring up. This may or may not be a big discussion, but I have had a request from our building inspector that we purchase a car for him to use, so he doesn't have to use his own vehicle. Now, let me preface that by saying, as far as I am concerned, if we decided to do that, we would do something like Jim Miller just did, and he bought that used car off of,
his person.
that was, yeah, his own personal use, but I mean, they have them on sale on Auctions International all the time. That's the only way I would. We're not gonna buy him a brand new car to go around
Do we
your
reimburse
inspections.
them for mileage now?
Yes, we do.
It averages between $60 and $70.
So how many miles does he?
I can-
on for the town?
Hold on one second, because I'm gonna do his voucher late. I told him he has to wait for next month.
You know of any other towns that do that?
I was gonna say, that I asked around, nobody around gets a vehicle.
The only one I know of is Copay. They used to anyway. I don't know if they still do, but Copay used to. That's,
Wasn't that?
I haven't asked other towns. I suppose I could.
Well, this one's a large one because he charged for miles for going to his classes and back. Which, so, let's see here. Let's do that.
I would just leave those out, because he's not gonna do that every month.
481 minus 390. 87 minus.
Maybe we should buy the town a new pickup and let him have the old pickup.
Well, I mean, I suppose, he could use one of the town's pickups.
I'd like to find out if anybody else does it, because
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
I should have made a note when I went to the. And I'll see a few of the supervisors tomorrow when I go out there, and I'll ask them.
Yeah,
I'll find out. We'll table that till next month.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that is the end for me. So we'll move on to town board members' comments,
Okay.
and David is up first.
I've got three things for this month. I marked out a location where we've talked quite a few times from the fire company about putting a landing zone out in the field out there. We've had 6 calls for a landing zone already this year. We've had a couple of them canceled for different reasons, but it's becoming a much more prevalent thing with the rescue squad and different things. So I think that's something we need to do. Really for the winter months, when you're not gonna be able to get out into fields and get into other places. And also, quite honestly, a couple of them we've had this spring, you're not, it's tough to get out there because it's soft. So I think we need to really make it something that can be maintained and is a more permanent type thing. Including the emails from Mr. Geisler. I've had 4 people talk to me about issues and complaints and problems with the planning department and building department this month. Different things, just dissatisfaction with how long it takes, how much they have to do. One gentleman said he's already got well over $100,000 in his driveway and isn't there yet. And they say it's just impossible to build in Ankrum. I think this is something we gotta look at what we're doing and how we're doing it and try to make it a little easier. We keep beating the affordable housing issue to death. And we don't make any of our laws or regulations any easier, so we're never gonna get there. So that's one thing. And also, I wanted to discuss how we're using and operating our email issue. And I kind of would like to discuss that if we can in an executive session rather than open here. That's just my opinion. I think that's the way we should do it as a town board rather than out in the open.
What would be the reason for the executive session?
To discuss how we're using it, what people are doing. And I think it's something that should be kept between town board members.
I'm sure that qualifies, but I have Hugh ringing in my ears. Exactly the right wording. Are you okay, Hugh?
Is he on Zoom?
Bill, is Hugh on Zoom?
On what?
Is Hugh Clark on Zoom?
You is on Zoom, absolutely. Hold on.
Well, pay attention, Hugh.
You know he is.
If you're asking my opinion, that is not one of the 8 reasons cited in the open meetings law to go into executive session, nor does it sound like it meets one of the exceptions such as the attorney-client privilege.
Okay, here's our 8 reasons. A matter that will imperil the public safety if it is disclosed. A matter that may disclose the identity of a law enforcement agent or officer. Information with respect to the investigation or prosecution of a criminal offense that would jeopardize effective law enforcement if disclosed. Discussions related to proposed, pending, or current litigation. Matters relating to collective negotiations under the Taylor Law. Medical, financial, credit or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or relating to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal. Preparation, grading, or administration of examinations, and acquisition, lease, or sale of real property or securities publicly would substantially affect the value. The only one that it could possibly come under, if you feel that it's something, I don't know. Discipline, removal, appointment, motion.
Well, then I'm more than willing to discuss it right here, right in the open. That works for me. We all agreed, we approved the minutes from last month. In the minutes from last month, we have a section in here where we talk about the pamphlet on hate speech that we wanted to go out. It was noted that the pamphlet talks about gathering together as a family at Thanksgiving, and in these words, and that we are now into spring. The board thought maybe an updated version could be found, or that the board could write a message similar to that didn't include the Thanksgiving holiday. It says the board will investigate this further. Ms. Hunt stressed that she felt it was an important message to get out to the public, which is okay. 2 days later, you're sending emails to the person sending out the emails for the Ankrum email list, asking her why it's not out yet and sending it to her. And there's multiple emails.
That is correct.
Well, that's kind of bullying and badgering her. Well, you're the
Glad
one.
you brought it up.
Stop. I'm talking. It's I'm not ceding my time.
Fine.
You want to bring up bullying, you bring up hate speech, this is what it's about. And we do this and we go about this, but then you practice it. The same thing happened later in the month when she started sending out an email about a lost dog, and you jump in and start telling her she can't do this. This woman is doing this out of the goodness of her heart. I know you didn't say anything, you're right. I have one other real problem about this. This this pamphlet that you want us to send out says creating a safe space for dialogue on hate, a guide for parents. And it talks about giving them a safe place to go on the internet and everything. Well, I don't understand because I keep getting different things given to me all the time by different people. I had them given to me in the fall about a bunch of things. You create more hate speech than anybody about a lot of things and more ill will between people.
I do.
Yes, you do. Here, take a look at these. These are only for town board members. I'm not passing them out because I thought this should have been in executive session. You can look at them, see what you think. This is wrong. This is terrible. You complained about the gentleman who put the sign in the center of town. What was the only thing wrong with that sign? Was it the vulgarity? Was the obscene word that was on his sign, on his?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know which flag I'm talking about in the center of town. You wanted it removed.
Everybody did.
Look
You wanna
at
let me
these things.
respond?
These are obscenities all over. I don't have any presence online in any way, shape or form.
Neither
What
do
does
I.
this have to do
People-
with Bonnie?
Were you gonna let me
Where do you
respond?
think they came from?
Are you gonna let me respond?
None of these have Bonnie's name.
Yep.
Okay, so. As far as the flyer, it came from the New York State Governor's Office. And the sheriff left it here for distribution. Had nothing to do with me. It's not political, it's not controversial. It's a way for people,
And we made the
hopefully, I'm
agreement.
talking, David.
Okay,
It's a way for people, hopefully, to get along better and to help people talk to each other. We all signed a resolution in January saying we would support that kind of attitude and that kind of town. And I hope that we do. This is a personal attack on me. I don't know what this is. But there are people going around this town calling people faggots and niggers. And that can't not go on. I will fight that until the end. And if you got a problem with that, you shouldn't have signed that resolution.
I agree with you. That's
Okay.
not acceptable. I would
It
agree
said
with that.
Thanksgiving, so what? There wasn't an updated version. Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter. I said I would look for one, there wasn't one. I never badgered anyone. I sent it to Ann, she's supposed to be sending it out, she never responded to me.
Anne was extremely upset about it. You
So
did
she should
badger
have
her,
talked to me.
and she wasn't supposed to send it out because it states right in our minutes.
It's
that we're
not
gonna work-
her decision.
It's our decision and it's
Right.
right here in our minutes.
And I said I would look for an updated version, there wasn't one. I don't know what your problem is with that. Because
said
you have a problem with people trying to get along, I don't
I
understand.
had the problem with the way you forced it on Ann.
I don't, why does she have the job? If you send something out to her, she should send it. Maybe she
It's
should,
supposed to go
maybe she
through,
shouldn't have that job.
it's supposed to go through the town supervisor, not through you.
May I-
You're not town
may
supervisor.
I add
If there's
something?
a.
May I add something?
Yep.
This was meant to go out prior to the first of the year. It was something that Art was going to send out.
I was gonna say, the real question is, why didn't it go out before Thanksgiving?
That's the real issue. Well,
Well, it should
Because we didn't get it before Thanksgiving. That's why it didn't go out before Thanksgiving.
We got it in December, it should have gone out in
The
December.
message remains the message, but it was supposed to go out before.
It was all just a personal game then and it is now. It's
No.
just like,
No, it's not.
but you keep saying, it's the same thing that we got badgered in the fall about the elections and people ripping things down. And we know
Badgering who? I was being badgered, okay? I was being attacked.
who's the only person that went out and ripped down stuff.
I was being attacked. You saw, is this that shit that was on Facebook? Is that in here? That you put up? You probably put up or your
I don't
campaign?
have Facebook. I didn't put any.
I'm not on Facebook either,
Okay, all right.
Yep.
but this is bullshit.
All right.
This has nothing to do with Bonnie.
No, we're not
Bonnie
taking
did
public
not-
comments, right?
It's enough, enough, enough.
Go through the town and find, individuals that have posted things that are unkind, you can probably find hundreds of.
But that's not the point. She's on the town board.
But neither is, this has nothing to do with Bonnie either. Bonnie did not post any of these.
Well, I had a lot of things pushed my way about things.
Pardon?
Let's just end it.
Okay.
No, has nothing to do with that.
That's it. Done. We gotta move on with town business.
There's a
And
comment-
you want to, and I want you, Jim, to
there's a-
deal with Ann and work this out. She won't talk to me. She hasn't talked to me and I did not bully her. I asked for a response. I said, are you on vacation? She never responded to me. If she had a problem with it, she should have said something.
Okay.
We have somebody on Zoom that's raised their hand, Mary Murphy.
You don't have to take comments, no.
Go ahead, Phil.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I just like to say, watching this and going over what happened in the fall and how upset everybody was and all of that, the only bullying going on right now is coming from you, David. And you came loaded, ready to go in this meeting to go after somebody, and it's got to stop. The election is over. It's done. But I mean, I'm telling you, if you think anybody was getting bullied, it would, Bonnie was not bullying anybody. That did not happen.
Why is she
All right.
off when other people weren't?
Thank you, Mary.
I raised my hand.
Other people. Thank you.
Yeah, fuck you.
We are gonna move on with town business, period. Amy, you're up.
Okay.
You skip me.
Well, you're next. I'm only going, I didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. I skip you.
Well, I have a bit of good news for everybody. There's a press release that came out that was issued today. You'll probably all see it tomorrow. CMH, I'm reading the headline, CMH meets fundraising goal necessary to reopen Copake Rapid Care Center. So, I mean, I know.
Bravo.
Yeah, I know how important, the center is to all of you.
Okay, so it's
On
okay.
behalf of CMH and everybody that's worked really hard to open the center, have it reopened, I just want to thank everybody in the community for their donations, their generosity, small, large, it all helped. It got us to a plateau, and then along came an anonymous donor who very, very generously pushed us over the threshold. So the Rapid Care Center will open. They're now targeting June 1. And everything looks like it's a little bit later than they had hoped, but it will happen. So thank you again on behalf of everybody involved with CNA.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so Monica, I don't know if you want a copy of the press
I do.
release.
Thank you. Do you have it in soft version? Or
I do, I can send it to you.
it probably is going to be online too.
It probably will be when it hasn't reached the press yet, it hasn't been posted.
Yes, thank you.
So the other issue that I wanted to talk about is just adding on to Jim's earlier comments about the intersection. As difficult as it is, and I know we have a lot of people who think it'll never happen. We are making some progress. I've talked with somebody at Central Hudson. Because in order to move the stairway, that I think Jim, I'm not sure, I don't know the name of the resident that.
I don't either.
The Mitchells.
What is it?
Mitchells.
Mitchell's.
Mitchell's house has a stairway that comes down into Route 82 now. And they've given permission for the town to move that stairway to their, so it goes right to their parking lot. So our town can make that change, and then we can make some changes to the corner. But in order to make changes to the corner, we have to get Central Hudson to move the utility pole. So, and that turns out to be a bigger job than anybody thought it would be. So there are a lot of different aspects that we're considering, working with, and we're still working with Columbia County DOT and waiting for some drawings from them so that we can provide those to Central Hudson and they can get us some work. If we can demonstrate that it's a real security issue, they may cover the costs. So that's what we're attempting to do right now. It's just slow. Okay,
Bonnie,
done.
Okay, I just have one short report on the housing meetings. There were one meeting with the Tri-Town Hillsdale and Copic group, and another one with the county. And I think there was some kind of press release that the county was awarded $2 million to award to qualified homeowners to build ADUs, which are accessory dwelling units. And it's going to be facilitated by the county and by this company called Rupco, which is a very reputable developer of affordable housing. So they don't even know how it's going to work yet, but they did get $2 million to do that. And then we keep coming up with more ideas and possibilities, but it all comes down to, we're going to have to change the zoning, and I think everybody knows that. And I'm going to let Carol, who's our new chair of the zoning revisions committee, I'm hoping that when we get started, we can prioritize that. And I'll tell you more about that later. But since Bob Roche also resigned from that, we have actually interviewed a couple of two great candidates. We've only needed one, but now we need two. So we're gonna probably offer them both to those.
that's for the planning board?
No,
Oh,
the
the
zoning
ZRC.
revision. Very good candidates. So hopefully, when are we gonna start up again, Carol?
Hopefully, everyone is working on finishing up working with that.
April 8th.
April.
Okay.
You're gonna do it during the eclipse?
Oh, my God. Is that April 8th? No, it's. Well, that's. Yeah.
It'll be dark then, so it'll be like night.
That's all I have.
Colleen,
Got a few things. So I think I sent around, or I sent it around, if you did not receive it, the draft climate adaptation and resiliency plan is out and shared with us. And they're looking just for, minor edits and for us to take a look at it. Once those are submitted by March 25th, they'll go ahead, finalize the document, and then we can share it to the community. So that's pretty exciting. It's been a little over a year that we've been working on that. And I'm happy to say that we are finishing up the characterization of the road Jan and Punchbrook. And we'll be having a community presentation April 15th, right, Monica? We're hoping at the town hall from 6 to 7:30. And I encourage anyone to attend. They've done a tremendous amount of work. There's some fabulous maps of our community, and that also includes Gallatin and Copic too. So anyone that's interested and wants to learn more can attend.
And there will be pizza.
Well, hopefully, we're hoping for pizza, but we're hoping to do that. So that should be good. And the newly reformed Ag Advisory Council is coming along. Bonnie and Susan Arterian and I met. Susan was the one who kind of brought it up to our attention. And we've started kind of developing a framework to get it, that council committee together. And we're working on finalizing a survey to send out to the community, probably via the Ingram email and also in the newsletter, just to get an idea of what type of farms do we have in the community. We did this a long time ago when the original plan was created, but we kind of wanted to see if there were new farms or new people in the community who are farming and what they do, and so that we can help, support them a little bit more. So anyone who wants to fill out the survey, they can. And
Also, in following up with Jim and Monica, we have to deal with our escrow. So we have to really deal with the escrow law. So I urge you to make comments on it. As town board members, planning board members, and CBA members. But we definitely have to get together and figure it out and streamline the process to make it easier, because it can be a little bit complicated. And so I think we'll probably meet as a subcommittee to do that. And then the last thing, which I do have good news about, I submitted to the board a grant report so that I could kind of give them an idea of what we've been awarded, what we are submitted, what I've submitted already, and what we've been denied. And we received an award, which was a shock to me, because I thought it was a real long shot that we were going to get this. But it looks like the DEC is awarding us $153,742 to help offset the cost of that new salt shed. So we got it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done, Colleen.
It was pretty, I've been holding off because usually the DEC likes to send out a press release. And so I was kind of waiting from the time that we got the letter, the notification, and they didn't say anything. And I said, well, fair game, it's time to let people know. So, so we're gonna be in the process of executing the contract and hopefully getting that money back to the town. So that's awesome. And I can't say enough about that salt shed. I don't know if I've said this before, but living on that road, just the way the houses were and the way the milk barn is, every time there was a storm, you could hear the trucks, the backup sounds all hours of the night. I hear nothing from that because they can keep everything contained within the structure. So I can't say enough good things.
The only downfall is you don't hear the payloader hitting at 4 o'clock in the morning, telling you that you're gonna have a 2 hours.
That's true. I don't have to worry about that anymore. My kids don't have delays to worry about or things like that, but yeah, the first time we hear it is when the trucks are on the road, but before we could hear everything. So that's been awesome. And the other sadder news, we were not awarded the grant to put solar on the highway garage. So we'll put it on the back burner. And if something comes available and we can apply for it, we will. And as far as what is in process, I submitted a application to the Office of Mark Molinaro to help offset some of the costs of the last field upgrades. So I submitted for like $80,000 to help improve the area down there, whether we put electric in the pavilion, bathrooms, whatever we can do with that. I figured it would be good to submit for that. And then with the help of Dave and Jen, I actually submitted the informational request about the swimming pool. They just really kind of want to know what the usage is, because there's a big initiative to put some state money into either upgrading pools, that need repair, or helping communities build pools. And so I figured we might as well get our information in there, let them know we have a program and we would like to continue it. And it would be great to have some money to, put into a pool. So that's where I stand. That's it.
Thank you, Colleen.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yeah.
Highway superintendent is next, but he's not here. Have you seen his report?
And everybody's, yeah.
Any questions on his report?
I just have a question. The two bodies that he referenced in here, is that what the resolution is about? Is it those two bodies that we're gonna have to, and the truck?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's the right things.
Lisa.
Yeah.
We need to marry him.
Oh.
No questions?
No.
Then we will move on to the town clerk and the tax collector.
So just quickly, as of yesterday, I have collected 85% of my tax roll. Second notice will go in the mail April 1st. This month I had $142 in fees that I gave to the supervisor for February. $80 of that was for certified death certificates. The remaining was for dog licenses. I have reached out to at least 2, but I've got a couple more that I want to reach out to try to get quotes for banners for the Hometown Heroes project. Pro Printers is in Pine Plains. They're the ones that did the banners that we have up right now. And they're the company that I believe Pine Plains used. I also reached out to Next Gen. They're the ones that did our gateway signs for the town of Akron. But I recently found when I ordered new flags for the poles, that Gettysburg Flag Company also sponsors the Hometown Heroes program and does the banners. So I want to get some quotes and whatnot for they seem to be pretty much all running the same. It would just come down to time frame and that sort of thing. So I'll keep you posted. The Columbia County Sheriff's Department is going to be holding a coffee forum here. Anybody can come on March 26th from 6 to 7 to ask them questions, make complaints, whatever you want to do to reach out to your sheriff. This was something that they asked us to host, and I was more than willing. So they will be here March 26th. The shredder barrels will be here till tomorrow. If you see a car in the driveway, it means somebody's here. You can drop off shredding. They're pretty full though. And then they will be back again in 3 months. They're quarterly, and that is a program that is held by the county clerk's office. And I will be going to my Town Clerks Association conference in April in Albany, and I will be hosting the Columbia Green Town Clerks Association bi-monthly meeting here in Akron for the first time in June. And on a personal note, because some of you donated to it, as you all know, my son is a Boy Scout and is in the last few moments of getting his Eagle Scout project completed. The project is done. He took out shrubbery at the church in Akron, and we put in all new hydrangea plants. And he collected enough money that we're hoping eventually to take out the big trees in front that are dead and replace all of them as well. He has been okayed by his troop committee to go on to county. So he will go to the county Eagle Board of Review on the 8th. And then we're done. Nice. So we just want to thank you all because
Cool.
this has been a big thing, and the town has been very supportive, buying wreaths over the years and popcorn and everything, you know, everybody has done to get him to this point. I jokingly say he's getting the eagle and I'm getting the tired buzzard. And that's it.
Okay. Next up is bond resolution. So for me, I think that it's best to bond the purchase of the new dump truck and the 2 dump bodies. The price comes at $448,000. So I got the resolution to go ahead and do the bond. I also talked to the bank. And if we borrow if we bond the $448,000, I got 2 options. We could do more, but let me explain first. So option 1 is a 9-year bond at $61,500 a year, and the interest rate is 4.45%. Option 2 was 10 years at $56,600 at a 4.5% interest. Now, if we were to go with the 9-year, we would save $13,000 in interest compared to the 10-year. And I should have talked to the guy at the bank a little bit more, because after I talked to him and I got looking at this, if we saved $13,000 by going to the 9-year instead of the 10, I mean, we could even go as low as 5 years. It would cost us more in payments, but we would probably save more in interest, and I didn't ask that question. So I can get back to the bank with a different figure because we're not gonna vote on that tonight. And the other thing is, and that's totally up to the rest of you, we don't even have to bond it. We could just spend the money right out of our fund balance and it would be paid. I'm not in favor of that, but that would be your decision. But we do have to vote on the bond resolution tonight if we're gonna go that way. And that will move us on to the terms of what the bond will be. We're not gonna get the truck till towards the end of the year anyway. The dump bodies are, we might have those on the trucks by June, so we would need the money then. So we don't have to make the decision on, you know, how much the bond is gonna be and how many years we're gonna take to pay it off tonight. But we should do the resolution that we're going to bond it if we're going to.
But we have to make the decision to bond it tonight if we're not sure if we're going to finance it through a bank.
Well, that decision we can make tonight, if we're just gonna pay for it outright or
No,
bond it.
won't pay for it outright. I'm talking about financing it with the.
Well, we're just passing the resolution to bond it. We're not deciding on the terms of the bond tonight.
We haven't discussed whether to bond it yet.
Well, the one thing, couple things, Jim. If we can get the bond for 4.45%, we're getting a little over 5%, almost 5.5% on the T-bills, correct?
Yes.
So we would actually be making 1% on our money by virtue of keeping it in the T-bills rather than paying it out on the trucks.
Right.
The one thing we would need to know, if at some point the interest rate goes down on the T-bills below this 4.45%, can we pay it off in advance so that then we aren't losing money? And I think with the bonds, it's just yearly, you could pay the whole thing off, correct? Yeah. Well, I know we have to do the same thing anytime with the fire district, and you can pay them off at any time you want if it becomes that way. So that actually is a good deal because we're making more money on our money to have it in the bank
Yeah.
than to have this loan.
That's
I'm-
at this rate, though. The
Yeah.
rates might go down.
That's why I said,
Yeah.
at that point, then we could just pay it off if it gets below.
Can you explain to me, in reading over the resolution, it says that we have to put it in 2 newspapers?
Yes, yeah, we have to advertise it.
Referendum.
Yeah.
Which means that even though you guys pass it, there's a time period that the town of Ankrum, residents of the town of Ankrum can do a petition with a certain number of signatures within a certain time frame and present it to us. So
To oppose it?
yes.
And why would they oppose it?
I don't know.
I said, why would it?
Hopefully they wouldn't, but it's,
Yeah.
Let's just, in the years that I've been here, we've done, I want to say at least 2 bonds, possibly 3. I've never had one person question.
I was gonna say, we've done permissive referendums
It's
multiple
just the way
times.
that you have to do it through town law.
And
And then once that time frame is passed, then we publish it a second time and then it becomes enacted.
well, we didn't we bond this building and the town highway garage?
We bonded this building, yes, we bonded the highway garage. We paid both of them off early. We also bonded one of the trucks. No. I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
just bonded the
We
last one.
bonded- Yeah, and we bonded the 2 Penworths. Because I had to go to the bank for those.
because we bought both of them at the same time and they were a big chunk. Yep.
You haven't shared those figures with us yet. The numbers
Which
you just read.
No, I didn't. Oh, I did. I thought I put them in I didn't give them to you. I thought I did.
I don't see it anywhere.
I think you just got them today, didn't you,
Is it in
Jim?
the packet?
Yeah, I just got them today.
Yeah, it's right.
Oh, just today, so I'm,
Yeah, they're in the thing.
Yeah.
It's in, I think it's in this right here.
this is the packet. I got. No, that's.
This is
Oh.
my packet. That's Monica's packet.
Oh,
Or maybe it's this one up here.
Here.
Wait, it's, I bet it's on the bottom of this one.
you're like wondering what are the numbers? Is, I mean,
Yeah, there it is.
so if we vote on the resolution tonight, then we're committed to bonding it.
I am not sure, Bonnie.
You're not committed to it. You're just in the process to let people do the permissive referendum. We can still go ahead and pay for it anyway we want.
Yes,
Now, who came up with this resolution?
bond attorney. We have to go through a bond attorney
Okay.
to do this.
And that's what the firm we usually use, the Inman Strong.
No, it's, her name is Christine Chale.
Yeah, we've used.
That's
it.
who they always used in the past.
I've never heard her name before.
We used her before. Because she knew me when she called here. She said, "Oh, it's good
Well,
to speak
the
to you
re-
again," and I was like, okay.
Her name was in the list of arts attorneys.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you wouldn't have heard her because the last time we used her was when we did Kenworth trucks and those were bought
Long
before
time.
you were on the town board.
Did you discuss this with the back?
No, I did not.
Because you would like to hear what your budget officer thinks about it as well.
Well,
But I mean, I think it's a good idea and I know you came up with it, but I,
here's the question. We can pass a resolution. It doesn't mean that we're gonna,
I'm not obligated to anything,
right, yes,
but it would just let the process go forward.
yes.
Because there is like, it's either 30 or 60 days. It's a length of time that you have to wait before you can even begin the process of taking the money out, signing the papers, getting a check cut.
To be ready for June, you
You
gotta
have to
go
get it
down.
on paper.
Correct. It's there's very strict regulations for it.
Well, no, because there's an.
Yeah, I just haven't done it since I've been here, so I don't know. As long as it doesn't.
I mean, we have the money to pay for it. We would get the bond and put it back in. I just have to nail down the terms that we're happy with. That's all I have to do.
If we decide to do it.
Yes,
So this, where did these figures come from?
Bank of Greene County.
So you're gonna go back to them.
Yes. I'll call him back again.
Well, quite honestly, something that size, you almost have to get 3 bids on it. Anyhow. You know, most of the time, that's what the,
For a bond,
board of air commissioners, that's 3 different banks.
do they?
Yep.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we've already
That would be,
approved the,
that would be a question for the bond attorney, Sheila. Right?
I will look into it.
we've already approved this, buying these things.
We've already
Yeah,
approved
we-
the purchase. I'm just saying we have the.
Yeah, we don't have any choice. We gotta pay for them.
Right. We don't need to get bids on it. We've already.
You don't have to get bids on the trucks, but you can get bids on the loan,
Right.
the size of the
Yeah,
loan.
that would,
And
yeah,
then you get different rates from different companies when they know that you're getting bids from somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
At this point, we know at least this one would save us 1%. So it makes more money to leave our money in the bank, more sense to leave the money in the bank. We might even get a better percent from another different bank.
here would be my question. Are you comfortable, because the 9-year is that much of a payment, the 10 is that, would you be comfortable with, say, like doing 120,000 a year? That's the choice that we have to make.
Mhm,
Less years, more of a payment.
Sure.
I think you should look into that, because if we don't do anything, we're gonna pay the whole chunk this year. So we're okay with paying a big chunk, because we've got the money sitting there.
Right.
The reason to do this is just to be able to make a little more interest.
Well, not spend the money. Keep it in.
Exactly. Save the money, keep it in making interest rather than spending it all on the trucks.
So I'll come back at next month's meeting with
Okay.
more options.
Should do the rest.
But I think I'll make the motion for the resolution.
Process started.
Process started.
We decide otherwise, then we just don't go forward with it.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Oh, you heard it. Oh, heard it.
Who first?
Motion, David made the motion, Amy seconded it.
I'll vote on.
It says that right here, Monica. Monica will do a roll call vote.
I'll go in order on here. Supervisor MacArthur.
I vote yes.
Councilman Boyce.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gold.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lutz. Yes.
Thank you. Next, we will review and approve the budget adjustments, warrant, and pay the bills.
We already did the budget adjustment, right?
Here's your budget adjustment.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did approve that. Warrant and the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second. The good idea.
Motion made and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Is there any public comments?
Oh, about your bond or about anything? About anything?
Well, you want to talk about the lunar eclipse or?
Yes, I would. I would like to just talk about the pavilion for a little bit. And I just want to say, before we talk about the pavilion for a little bit, I wanted to say that we got the applications out. The applications have been rolling in, so it's in 1 week, we've had 13 applications come in. So everything's going, and I'm just trying to budget, whether we need the tent, whether we don't. So I'm just trying to figure out with the board where we are with the pavilion. If you don't mind letting me know where we are so that I can plan accordingly. Whether we have to rent the tent. If we rent the tent, they need $1,200 down as a deposit soon. So I'm just trying to figure out where we're at with the pavilion. I know you're waiting for Steve, and I know that you have the architectural plans or the engineered plans. Can you fill me in as to when the board might make that decision, if it's a go or not a go, or is there a way to have another session when Steve can be here and we can try to figure out, because if it's approved, then we need to do the bidding and all of that, and I'm just trying to figure out where the board is at, if you don't mind. I don't know if Bonnie and Amy know, and Hugh, we had a bid come in, from Coons. I don't know if it was Conrad Coon, Conrad's brother. They do pole barns all the time, and we had a bid of 29,000 for the pavilion. Not the end finish, just the pavilion and the roof, you know? And then 15,000 for the Alaskan slab. And that's for the 30 by 60 pavilion. That's not prevailing wages, but that is a quote to go from. So I think it's important to know that for 50,000, 45,000, you know, that is a ballpark price. And then pay a little bit more for the one end of the pavilion to be enclosed. I also had other contractors want to give us a price. And they want to see the engineered plans before spending their time giving us estimates. But I was wondering, since Steve's not here, if the board can have a special meeting to discuss the pavilion and to discuss it as soon as possible. So that if we were to do this and if we could get going on the bidding, you know, if the board approves it, we could get going on the bidding process. Mr. Coons, who does these pole barns, told me it takes him 4 days. In 4 days, he'd have it done. And I asked him if we did it in May or even June, would you have the availability? He said, absolutely. He said, Ruth, all it will take is 4 days. We can get it done. So I'm wondering where the board is at, if you don't mind me asking.
My first question is, how soon is soon? On the 10th?
I can ask them, they emailed me in February. If we were going with that company, it's called Big Tent over in Cairo. They wanted to know if we were going with them and they want like a $1,200 deposit. You know, I don't want us to put down a deposit like that and not use it. I can ask them the latest, you know, but usually by April, I will sign a deposit. But I can make a phone call with them.
If we put down a deposit,
It's
Is-
not
is-
refundable,
it's non-refundable.
non-refundable, and the tent is $2,600. Last year, I think it's maybe 800 more this year.
Okay, just because quite honestly, once we get to the point of bidding,
Yeah.
once we say we've got our design and we want to go out to bid, I believe we've got to be 30 days to bid before we open them. We have to leave 30 days.
Right, and Dave, that's why I'm asking where the board is at. And, you know, if it takes 30 days, here we are, the 21st of March, 30 days, April 21st. You know, then you can start the bidding, you get into May. But that's why I was wondering if the board is willing to have a special session just to go over those details with Steve and whoever is on the pavilion committee and discuss this and just get the ball rolling. I know the ball's been rolling for 2 years on this, and getting the plans is fantastic.
I don't think we've ever really discussed the pavilion enough to start.
Philip,
Yes,
is Steve not by any chance on Zoom, is he?
he is not.
Okay,
The bid out now, do you need to speak to Steve? You can
No.
plan.
no, we have the plans, we could, we can put it out to bid.
That's
But we don't know how much it's gonna cost. How much is that gonna cost?
That would be
It won't-
terrific.
It won't cost anything to bid it, but so we'd have to
But,
decide.
but we just said 30 by 60, right?
30 by 60 pavilion.
And I thought the last time the group had talked, you talked about 30 by 80.
We had changed it by the end of the, our
What are Steve's
We
plans?
were gonna stick to 30.
You haven't seen him?
I have seen them. I just
Oh.
don't have them in front of me. You have a copy?
That's my wrong email address.
You know, I mean,
Well, it seems like there's a lot of engineering that has to go on. And, there else, like a culvert, and I don't know, you really, it's hard for us to know because Steve's not here. No, that's me.
If you, all right, just for informational purposes, if you were going to do a special meeting, you have to have 10 days. 10 days leeway of calling a special meeting, so you got a time frame in there too.
Why don't you just have a meeting with Steve and whoever else is working on it? You don't need to have a full board meeting.
Well,
It's fine.
does the board agree that we need to build this pavilion?
I'd like to hear
I-
what we're building.
It depends on what it costs.
Well, I know that, but we have to bid it to find out what it costs. Yeah,
You know at least what it's gonna cost.
I can't
As
decide,
far
what
as,
I know.
it's gonna be at least 50 grand.
at least 50. But there's excavators that said that some would be willing to volunteer some time, some community service, sort of like a community project, working with the town. So there's ways to shave off some money, and there's also, you know what I mean? When is the pipe getting fixed for the rent?
I don't know, he's not here.
That's,
That's a big concern.
well, I was gonna say, that is definitely a factor, and you don't know what you might find or problems you might have doing that.
I mean, that's one that would be.
But that's gonna be a factor of the weather too, I mean,
But could we get the bidding process going? That's my question, and not wait 30 days for the next town board meeting to be April 22nd, and then 30 days to get it out, put us into May, can we just get that bidding process going?
well, we don't have an agreement on the building to bid anything yet.
No.
What do you mean agreement on
We
it?
have
Well,
to
we're
have
gonna
it
build it.
specs.
You gotta have some type of specifications.
We got 'em. They're right here. You haven't seen them?
Didn't think they were complete last time I saw them.
Think so.
Does that include the platform? I mean,
This?
is the platform that it goes on?
The electric slab, yes. Concrete.
Yes.
Yeah, so that, you're putting that out.
Would the engineer be developing the bid?
That's my question, because would it be considered what they call an RFP?
See, this has got asphalt shingles for a roof, and I thought he was talking about a metal roof.
We
Last time
don't
we
want to
talked.
go with the metal roof. I apologize for interrupting a little bit. We don't want to go with the metal roof only because if we get struck by lightning, we want to avoid metal.
Yeah, no, I can
So
understand.
even the builder, he said, listen, a lot of pavilions are metal, but if you have kids under there and this and that, and architectural shingles are much better to avoid being struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Maybe baseballs, basketball, nothing better than that.
That could be an insurance problem. Stuff like
It could be a lot more than an insurance problem.
Very bad.
See, here's the thing. We can decide right now to go out to bid with the plans we have. Doesn't mean we have to accept them. Doesn't mean we have to build it.
Don't look like they're complete. I don't know. I don't know how to. What do you think, Colleen?
Well, unfortunately, Steve's not here, so I can't
I was
explain
gonna
it.
say, I suppose you could ask for bids on that drawing.
Yeah.
And just like you said, you don't have to accept anything.
Is that all that he turned over, or did he did he give you guys something?
I thought there were
didn't
2 or
see
3
that-
options.
That had, like it written out, it's X size on this and
That's all.
that's what I would have to put in paper.
Does anybody know anybody that can blow this up?
Take it right to Staples. Staples will make it
I gotta get
almost any
this.
size you want.
I'd be more than happy to blow it up for you if you'd like.
Do you want it tomorrow?
I mean, make it bigger, not.
I know, I'm more than happy to have it enlarged. I'll go to Staples tomorrow.
I have the PDF. I could send it to them and have our, regular plan size drawings. Yeah. we could-
Amy, you can keep that. I got more.
I'm not questioning.
Well, you corrected that this month though.
Getting people.
Never got that.
Volunteer to put the base.
Okay.
If we come through with that, and we put a bid out on that plan complete, would you have to start again?
If you change, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we bid them separately, like do the concrete.
Check the seed first.
So why don't you just have a meeting with Steve and see where it is?
Yeah.
You don't need the whole
Or
board.
have the meeting with Steve, can you guys do?
Not all, if we all do it, then we gotta have a special meeting.
No.
But you see, and that's just it. You can't have the committee say that this is what we want because it's got to be brought to the board. So there's no way you do much of anything till the April meeting unless we have a special meeting. And to have a special meeting almost takes us till the April meeting anyhow, by the time you advertise it and do everything.
Yeah. Listening to all this, And I haven't really heard a consensus from the five of you that you want to build a pavilion. I haven't heard that once.
I do. I don't know about the rest of the board.
Five of you as a body haven't even voted to say, yes, we're building a pavilion. How do you go ahead and get bids on and approve a
We don't.
plan until you know for sure this is what you want to do? I'm not even
don't.
sure I understand. You know it's gonna be about $50,000. You can figure probably $50,000 to $65,000 to $70,000 by the time you're done. So you approve the plan and you put it out for bids and you go from there. But I think the first thing you should do is vote to say, yes, we're gonna do this.
That was a question I just asked and
And it got.
I haven't. I'm in favor.
I know.
I'm in favor of doing something, but I want to know what you're gonna do before I.
Yeah, I don't have enough information.
Is it going to be electrified or is it, there's no plumbing, there's no electric in there?
There'll be electric, but no
It
plumbing,
will be electric.
no plumbing, no.
But is there gonna be a plan for plumbing in the future?
Right.
Is it, is there, what's going on? We don't know enough, I don't think, about parking. We've heard about changing the entrance to the field.
This is kind of like a
There are a
big
lot of issues.
project
Yeah.
and issues that we do have.
I mean, I just don't see hurrying it. To get it done. To do it right. I'd rather do it right.
I'd rather do it right.
So will we table this till the next board meeting and hopefully Steve will be around and
We gotta have more questions answered before we go that route.
Why don't you just tell her to rent the tent? Because that's what it sounds like. to me.
I think that's a good.
Well,
idea.
that's what we talked about before. I don't see how it happens.
Like, I don't either.
That would be a perfect situation that there's no issues. Once you open up the ground for those pipes, you don't know what you're gonna.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we might,
We might
as soon as they
be
change the
really-
pipes, we might change our tune.
Is there any way to ensure that the highway crew can start working on changing those pipes so that we are confronted with any repercussions at the next board meeting?
that would be a question for the highway superintendent who is not here. When they intend to do that.
I mean, they're talking maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain Saturday.
Really?
That could really change things just a little bit, they might have work on roadways, they might, soil conditions aren't gonna be good, that might set them off 3 weeks.
Well,
Hey, Philip,
you know what?
is the highway superintendent on Zoom?
He is not.
Slab down. It has to be prepped, it has to sit. There's a lot involved in the timeline for the slab alone, and not the building. The building is quick, it goes up 1, 2, 3. It's the slab you're gonna have time.
Exactly, you're right.
So that ground has to be prepped, and I'm sure Phil has to be brought in and it has to set.
Right.
We're trying.
It kind of sounds to me like we are putting this off till next month, so we'll move on.
Rent a tent.
Rent the tent,
Put a deposit on the tent.
put a deposit on it.
Right.
Put the deposit, we'll move as quick as we can, but.
Right.
Are there any other public comments?
Yes, Phil,
You're not the public.
sorry. Phil, to the public.
Monica would like to get, and Jay, Al said also, probably Ed and the planning department wants to get a postage machine to
Yes.
stamp letters, send out certified mail, instead of having to drag all the cards and the green
Been asking
cards.
that for years.
Post office piles of mail. And it's about $93 a month to do that. And you could potentially save money. It's cheaper to send electronic certified mail, which is something they do often.
Oh.
It's cheaper to do that with a machine than it is to go to the post office. So depending on the volume of certified mail, it would bring the price down, from
Yeah.
$93, the difference to go to the post office. So that was just something that we've been looking
The,
at.
the rental price though does not include the actual postage.
Right, that's just. the
It's
machine.
just the rent, the machine and the.
And you do get a slight discount on something.
No, Pitney Bowes was quite a bit more.
Yeah, there's a company called Quadient.
We're gonna have to figure out where to put it, because it's gonna have to be centrally located so that we all can use it. There's a few things we're gonna have to figure out, but, I
Will
think
that
it's.
affect our post offices? Because they go by volume,
Yeah, well, I'm still taking it down there. So,
so it still goes out to them?
Yeah.
Because I know keeping them open is according to volume.
and, yeah,
Simons used to bring all the stuff from the county
Ancrumdale.
to Ancrumdale, just to make sure they kept volume up.
I usually, to keep it equal, I usually will split the tax bills. There's 1,200 tax bills that go out. I send half of them from Akron, the other half from Ancrumdale. I'm a fair person.
I just wondered if that would have been.
Yeah, it does, you still have to physically.
Yeah, you
break.
still have to take it. This is just right now at tax time. I'm buying 25 rolls of stamps.
Oh, wow.
And the week of their Christmas break, my kids are sitting there doing this with the tax bills. I mean, it's ludicrous.
There's no reason for that.
So
So I will entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded that we purchase a what do you call it?
Purchase it, whatever.
rent it.
Rent a postage machine. All in favor?
Alright,
Opposed? So carried.
I have one other comment I forgot about, and I think, Monica, you brought this up. The person who posts things on the website is very tardy at doing so. And I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. If maybe Jim, you can talk to him or tell them.
I will talk to him. I've never met the man, but I will talk to him.
Send him 2 or 3 things.
Yes,
The website's really outdated. Zoning board's outdated, committees are outdated.
We
Nothing.
really need somebody, and it's not gonna be me,
well,
to look over the website and go through page by page and see what's expired that needs to come off. Because there's people on there that are still listed on committees that aren't on committees. There's
I've
stuff that hasn't
submitted-
been updated.
Twice to him to change the housing committee and he still hasn't done it.
I will sit down and go through the website.
There's a lot of outdated.
I'll do it with you, Jim.
Okay. Philip and I will handle that and I will,
I'll submit to you the changes for the housing committee.
okay.
There's a lot.
Nice to have a community calendar.
Couple questions, if I could.
Community calendar.
Yeah.
How do we
The
do
first
that?
one, was anything ever done about the paper with the article that was written? There was supposed to be an answer to that.
Yeah,
Which article?
Was that ever done?
yeah.
Talked about that.
There, the article was to the town.
We spoke about that earlier.
I'm sorry, I was here. I was.
That's okay. Yes, I did speak with the editor, or the journalist. When I spoke with her, she had to meet with the editorial staff. They got back to me and they apologized. They said, yes, they will make a correction. They did not have an editor. They did not have a section for letters to the editor at that time. Last week, they put out a notice that they now have an area for letters to the editor. They did make a correction to the article. They're not reposting the article, but the article has been corrected. But I can still write a letter to the editor. I don't know how much we want to keep
You
that in the
know,
public
I-
eye.
just as long as they're aware.
Yeah, yeah.
And the second thing, I've asked this before and still haven't gotten any answer really, is the lighting district in Ancrum. I've asked for years now why Ancrum residents are charged for a lighting district and yet Ancrumdale is not. It should be either one or the other. Either we should be charging Ancrumdale or we should not be charging the residents of Ancrum. I think it's a town thing. It should be paid by the town. It's just as much a municipality thing as it is anything else.
I know this came up before I became the town supervisor.
Many times.
And I'm very sorry and I apologize that Art Basson did not take care of this for me. So I guess I am gonna have to tackle this. I will look into it.
I think it's on this paper.
No, but I don't know that. Yeah,
I don't know either.
it's illegal. It's a lighting, isn't it a tax?
Yeah.
You can't just have to do it.
How do you undo that?
It's a district tax.
Okay, calm down. If we undid the tax district, then who would pay it?
The town.
Now,
So I guess we find out from an attorney how.
I think we should find out how we abolish it,
Yeah.
because I don't think there should be a lighting district.
I will find that out.
You can just bring up the lighting district, or you can find that out
Yeah.
before he left.
You
Yeah.
can just ban.
Disband it, and then come on through the town will take it up. I don't know how you do that, but he did find it out.
I will find out
Okay.
and have that answer before the next town board meeting.
Yeah, a lot of work to do, Jim.
Yeah, you're making a list.
That's what you're here for. It's your job.
You man.
Any other comments before we adjourn this
Yeah,
meeting?
we're talking about that. Dave and Ronnie was talking about. I really think that we need to come together as a community and everybody get along and not do this nonsense. I mean,
I agree.
you look on the computer and under the Democratic Party and it's probably the Republicans too, but this Trump sandwich stuff and all this stuff, it's ludicrous. That should not be out in public. It's just crazy.
I agree.
And it's not anything to do with Republican, Democrat, like I say, it's both. It has to stop. It's not nice.
Thank you.
I have a correction to the agenda though. I didn't catch this. I have the date wrong for the next meeting. It's April 18th. I missed it.
Well, you won't get a cookie on Monday. Any other comments from the public?
I should have come even later. I might have missed this. I don't know if you discussed the Tisbett House at all.
Yes, we did. It's a continuing saga.
I would like to say something about that house. I own the property adjacent to it. There's no property behind it. If the town were to purchase it and take it down and do something about that intersection, we would work with them, with the property we own behind it. And we've offered this before. And we were shot down because God forbid we take that building down. It's obsolete. There's nothing around it you can use. Nobody who does anything with that house is going to be able to do anything with it. And it would certainly improve that intersection. And we would be willing to work with whatever has to be done to the grade to that section that we own.
What you missed, Donna, was what the appraiser said.
Oh, you weren't here for that. Well,
No.
I contacted a lady that does appraisals. And she got back to me and basically told me she couldn't appraise
Here's the building.
that piece of crap.
But I'd like to say something, just so that you put these things in context. Do you know what the assessment value is on that property? It's 90,000.
Yeah.
So maybe you should think about that with the assessments, just putting that up. Now you could come back and fight yourselves in the foot, because now do you offer a man less than you're appraising or you're assessing that property for? That's a problem. Just saying.
Well, if we offer him 90 grand, he better take it.
But
I'm not offering
what I'd
him that.
like to just reiterate is that we would be willing to work
That's a point.
to improve that intersection with our property.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, I'm done, Jim.
anyone else? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn, all in favor? Opposed? And the next town board meeting is what date, Monica?
April.
March 18th, April 18th.
That look, to give you that look.
I dropped money.